So we'll just begin in horse stance where the feet are parallel and the inner feet are a little bit wider than hips distance apart. Or you could say your inner feet are in alignment with the outer hip. And we'll bend the knees slightly. And closing your eyes, give yourself the opportunity to become present in your body by becoming present to your breath. Sense the architecture of your bones and how they create the structure for the body. Become aware of the skin, the envelope that encloses the entirety of your physical form, gives it discipline, holds everything in place. Beneath the skin, become aware of the musculature that holds the bones together. The musculature and the connective tissues, the sinews of the body. And then beneath the musculature, the organ systems. Just feel their density. As you breathe, consciously slow it down. Softening the muscles of the face, releasing the lower jaw away from the upper, allowing the shoulders to descend away from the ears. Placing the hands, palms resting against your thighs. We'll move into chest opening breath. So with the inhalation, the arms slowly rise to shoulder height. On the exhalation, cross your left hand or wrist over the right, bending the knees, let your hands drop back down toward your thighs. Inhale, arms begin to rise, and they gradually separate as you arch your back. And then exhale, release the hands back down. Inhale, cross the arms the opposite way, exhale. Inhale, arms come back. Let's let them come behind the body now, opening the chest a little bit more. They come forward and rise up again. Crossing, alternating wrist. Arching the back as much as you can comfortably. Turn sideways. You can see it from this angle. And we'll complete one more full cycle. And then let the arms rise and fall slowly 3 times. Once your hands rest in front of your thighs, again, pause, observe the breath. Notice how the body feels. And bringing your awareness back, we're going to now nourish the joints. So this is a sequence that will help to cultivate synovial fluid in the joints to keep them lubricated, moistening the cartilage that helps the joints move and glide past and over one another with ease. So we'll stand with the feet in called a dance. It's about your walking stride distance, so your feet are more in alignment with your hip bones in front. And then we're going to turn the feet out slightly, and we'll begin simply lifting the left heel, so you're on the ball of your foot and toes, and then release the foot down. And then the same thing on the other side. And we're just going to alternate lifting one and then the other. So we're stretching the plantar fascia, which is the connective tissue along the sole of the foot, which sometimes can grow inflamed. If you know, or maybe you've experienced something called plantar fasciitis, or know somebody who has, it can be quite uncomfortable. So we'll finish this side and place the feet down. Now we're going to lift the right heel again. So we're on the ball of the foot. And we're going to start to roll around the ball of the foot. So, which is kind of like a kidney bean shape. And you just want to try to roll around the outer perimeter of the ball of the foot. And then pause where you are and go in the opposite direction. And you'll notice you're getting some action in your ankle, in the knee, as well as in the hip with this rotation. And then place the heel down, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Finish your rotation, pausing, and then reverse the direction. Finish and place the heel down. Now we're going to turn the feet parallel, still with them in a stance. And we'll glide the hands down to the knees. And if it's uncomfortable for your back to go quite that low, you can have your hands a little bit higher on your thighs. But if you can cup your kneecaps, you will. And you'll be looking at the floor. And you're simply going to start to shift your knees to the left, then bend them more deeply, then shift them to the right. Extend the legs without locking them, and continue this revolution in this direction. Make sure the breath is flowing. Next time you bend your knees, pause there and redirect. Notice how you're shifting the foot, and sometimes you're toward the outer foot, sometimes you're toward the inner foot. Finish your cycle. Tuck the tailbone, chin to chest. Slowly begin to roll up your spine again. Keep your chin down, particularly if you know that you're a little bit maybe lightheaded. Observe the breath. If it's shifted away from a smooth, even rhythm, consciously slow it down and reclaim that cadence. Now we're going to explore some movement in the hips. So you might want to have a chair nearby because this is going to involve some balance, and or be near a wall potentially. I'm just going to move forward slightly so I don't bump into the wall behind me. We're going to be swinging the leg forward and back initially with the leg fully extended. You can bring your arms away from your body a little bit, which will help your balance. So we're going to bring the hands away, and you'll also pick a point of focus out on the floor ahead of you to use as it's sort of like if you were a tall tower, a radio tower or something. They have those guy wires that come from the upper part and down to the earth. This is your gaze is like your guide wire that's going to help you to stay balanced. So we're going to let the arms come away from the body, shift the weight to the right. And with the inhale, swing the leg forward and as high as you can. Exhale, swing it back. And just keep going. Make sure the breath is supporting the movement. If you have to place your foot down periodically, that's fine. You can lift it only as high as feels comfortable for you. We'll do one more cycle here and place the foot back down so the weight is evenly distributed. We'll shift the weight, bring the foot in near the other, and inhale and exhale, picking your point of focus on the floor. And then finish and step out. So certainly during this time of year, if we live in a climate where there's snow and ice, working to cultivate greater balance is beneficial. So we're going to now be swinging the leg forward and back in the same way, only the knee is going to be bent. So you might find that you have a bit more range of motion. So again, bringing your hands away from the body, shifting the weight to the right. Inhale, left leg lifts, the knee as high as it will go comfortably, and then back toward the wall behind. Breath supports the movement. Finish one more cycle, and then step the foot out. And then we'll shift the weight again to the other leg, lifting and swinging. Trying to keep your spine as vertical as possible. And then once you complete your next cycle, place your foot down. A little bit more movement in the hip. This time we're going to do some rotation. So the knee will be bent, and first the knee is going to come forward. It's going to go out to the side and then swing around back and then come through to the front again. So place your arms, shift the weight to the right. Inhale, lifting. Send the knee out and then back and then through to the front again. Look at the floor rather than me, because I'm moving and my instability can create instability in your body as well. And we'll finish one more cycle and then step out. And same thing again, other side. Inhale to lift and use the breath to carry the leg around and through. Finish the cycle you're on and step out. Now we're going to do the same thing, only the knee's going to go backward first, then out to the side and around to the front. All right, starting with your left. On the inhale, swing it back, bring it around and through. Just let the breath be fluid. Finish one more cycle and then step out. Weight evenly distributed. All right, finishing on the other side. And complete your cycle and place your foot. So during that practice, you may have noticed that it felt like you had a little more stability on one side than the other, perhaps more mobility in the joint. And that's just something to kind of key into. And as we practice more and cultivate our powers of discernment, we can begin to see where we have patterns in the body, patterns of tension, or patterns of freedom and mobility. And so typically the side where our body is dominant, we tend to carry more muscle mass. And where there's more muscle mass, there tends to be less flexibility. So, and we can compensate in various ways when maybe we have injury or something that can create certain patterning in the body. All right, we're going to continue on. This is still a bit more hip action. We're going to take a bit of a wider stance. And the hands will come to the top of the pelvis. And we're going to shift the hips to the right and then push the tailbone back and then shift them to the, sorry, I was speaking backwards. I should have said shift to the left, but anyway, we're moving the pelvis around in a circle. Finish one more rotation and then come back. And then, so it's more your pelvis that you're moving, and your torso is just moving as a result of the pelvis moving. So the pelvis is swinging around in a circle. As the tailbone goes back, the head goes forward. As the tailbone goes forward, the head goes back. So we are this little gyroscope. We're gyroscopic in that way. So we're going to finish our cycle and come back. Notice the breathing. It may have shifted away from that smooth, easy flow. Gradually drop back there. And you'll inhale deeply, and then with your exhalation, sweep your hands away from your body and then let them settle down. Okay, now we're going to come back to horse stance, and we're going to do some movement with the hands, wrists up into the arm, up all the way up to the shoulder. So we're going to first roll the pinky toward the palm, then the ring finger, middle finger, first finger, then the thumb makes a fist. And then we're going to open the hands all at once. And then roll them in and open. And just keep doing that, looking at the hands. So you gaze between them and take them in peripherally with your peripheral vision. Finish one more cycle and then release the palms back down towards your thighs. For a moment, just observe how your hands feel. Now we're going to raise the forearms so they're parallel to the floor, palms down. Be loose in the wrists so your fingers kind of drop down. Then on the inhale, or starting with the inhalation, let the fingertips start to move toward one another, then up toward the ceiling. Turn your palms away from you and then press down. So we're getting some rotation in the wrists. Again, gaze at the floor between your hands, so you're keeping them in your peripheral vision. Finish with your fingertips facing up, and then they face each other and direct down, so you're now going in the opposite direction. Finish the cycle you're on, and then with an exhalation, let the hands settle down to your thighs. Now we're going to continue a bit of wrist action and include the elbows. So we'll inhale, cross the left over the right, and then the hands come up, and then turn the palms down, and they swing down and make these circling actions. So you can feel the movement in the elbow and the wrist. Again, look toward the floor just so you can keep your hands in your peripheral vision. And then next time your fingertips are facing up, pause, and then go the opposite way. So the other hand is on the outside. Finish your cycle, palms down by your thighs, and soften the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist. Begin to take in to your awareness any sensation you may be sensing in your body. Now we're going to move on to the shoulders, and the hands will start down by your thighs. On the inhale, start to lift through the wrist. The elbow starts to rise. Hands come up maybe above your head, and then arching the back, the hands come behind. Bend your knees, lean forward a little bit, arms come up and around. And you'll adjust this movement and to a level that feels comfortable for you. Finish your cycle and release your arms. Now we're going to turn the palms away, and the hands will go back first, out, up, above your head, and down. So palms face the wall in front of you, and then as they come down, they face the wall behind you. And you might even get a little bit of a spinal wave action going, letting your knees go forward, your hips, as the chest then opens and the chin rises. Complete one more cycle until your hands are down alongside your body. Pause there and observe. Now we're going to explore some movement in the whole rib case. And the intention is to move the ribs initially laterally back and forth, and then they're going to go in a circular motion. So we're going to place the hands on the top of the pelvis, and we want to try to keep the pelvis stable. The lower body is our anchor, and we're just moving from the rib case up. So we'll start moving the ribs to the left first, and then the right, and just keep alternating back and forth. You feel your shoulders, your head moves. Make sure the breath is supporting this movement. Finish one more cycle and come back to the center. Now we're going to push the ribs forward, then to the left, then push them back, and then to the right. And you just find this rotation, and it's really wonderful to lubricate the spine, create this spiraling action in the spine. Moves the cerebral spinal fluid through the spine. So next time your ribs come forward, pause there and then redirect the opposite way. Notice the breath, make sure it's flowing. And we'll finish one more revolution and come back. Once there, you'll inhale deeply. Exhale, sweep your hands away from your body. Now we're going to do the same thing with the neck. And so you'll feel your head moving from side to side. We want to keep the chin parallel to the floor as much as possible. So just think, like walk like an Egyptian kind of thing. Back from what was the band? The Bangles, I don't remember which one sang that. So try to keep your shoulder girdle stable. And just let the head move from side to side. And then finish the cycle you're on, coming back to center. Now we're going to do the same thing with the head that we did with the ribs, creating that circular motion, and adjust this as necessary. If you feel any twinging or pinching or something that doesn't feel good, either pause entirely or just kind of pull back and do a more subtle movement. So we're going to start by thrusting the whole head forward, then to the left, back, and then to the right. And we just keep moving in this manner. The breath carries the head through space. And you might hear a little snap, crackle, popping, but as long as nothing is hurting, you're okay. Next time you come forward, pause, and then go the other way. And one more cycle, finding your way back to neutral. Notice how the neck feels, the shoulder, upper back region, chest, all the way down the spine, and then the arms and legs as well, because we've already explored movement there. The final part of this sequence doesn't really involve joints, but it will help to, we've been working a lot with our peripheral vision. And for many of us, that's something that we don't necessarily activate because if I want to see something over here, very often I'll just turn my head. So we tend to kind of, the musculature in the eyes can grow sort of flaccid and not really support the eye and all of its range of motion that's there in potential. So we're going to imagine that the face is a clock and your forehead is 12 and your chin is 6. So keeping your chin parallel to the floor, on your next inhalation, begin to lift your gaze toward the top of your forehead or the ceiling. And then starting with an exhalation, go counterclockwise. So you're moving to your left and, well, I guess actually it would be to your right, but regardless. And you just keep rolling around the outer circumference of your face with your eyes. And eventually you'll come back to 12 o'clock and pause. Then go the opposite direction. So looking as far to the side, keeping your nose straight ahead. Far to the side, as far down and far up as you can manage. And the next time you come to 12, pause. Keeping your gaze up, chin parallel to the floor, slowly close your eyes. Now with your next exhalation, bring your gaze to the horizon line. Next exhalation, bring your gaze to the floor, keeping your chin parallel to the earth. Keeping your gaze at the floor, with your next inhalation, slowly open your eyes. Next inhalation, bring your gaze back to neutral. So that's nourishing the joints. It's a great way to warm up the body in the morning before a further practice, or just to get the energy flowing, as I said, lubricating the joints and the blood flow going as well. All right, now we're going to explore some more movement for the neck. One of my friends who's a yoga instructor calls this neck justice. So we're going to, because oftentimes we sort of forget about our neck, particularly now if you drive and you have a new, car with all the bells and whistles, you get this little camera that shows up that makes it so you don't even have to turn around to see who's behind you. So we can stop using our bodies with all of this new technology in the full range of its motion. So we're going to begin just with the chin neutral, parallel to the floor. With the inhale, we'll lengthen through the crown. Exhale, slowly release the chin toward the chest until you meet resistance. And then the next inhalation, the chin rises. The crown of the head falls back just slightly. So you're looking up toward the ceiling. Exhale, the chin sinks down. Inhaling, chin rises. And we'll do one more cycle, full cycle. And we'll end with a chin down again and pause there. Now, with the next inhalation, we're going to start to bring the chin toward the right shoulder, head in profile, and lift the chin as far as you can, looking up. Exhale, chin to shoulder, revolve back down towards your sternum. Inhale all the way to the other side and lift. And continue alternating. One more full cycle. And come back with your chin down. Next inhalation, chin rises to neutral. Exhale, slowly turn your head to the left as far as you can. Keep your shoulders square and your pelvis square to the front. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Finish your cycle, return to center. For the final part of this series, the neck series, neck justice, we're going to place the hands down alongside the body, and we're going to inhale, lengthen through the crown. On the exhale, the left ear starts to drop toward the left shoulder as the right palm presses toward the earth. And then inhale, release the hand, bring the head to neutral. Exhale to the other side. And we'll continue. So you're attempting to get your palm as flat to the floor, lifting the fingers away from the floor as much as possible. Feeling a stretch through the arm, on the inside of the arm, and as well down from the neck through the shoulder, down the outside of the arm. And we'll complete one more cycle. And come back to neutral. Now we're going to flow into a form called picking grapes. And so this works to stretch the side body and compress the opposite side. And we're going to be extending the arms toward the ceiling and then eventually coming into a forward bend and releasing the arms behind the body. And you can bend as far forward as feels comfortable for you and raise your arms as far as you can. So we'll begin on the inhalation. We're going to slowly bend the elbows and bring the hands to the shoulders and make fists. Exhale. Bend your knees, swing your hands down past your legs, up to the ceiling behind. Inhale, slowly open the hands as they come forward and up. And then reach, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, swing down. Inhale all the way up. Start with the other hand. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, open, swing down. And continue. Feel the side stretch. Complete one more full cycle. So you're going to do reaching, starting with one hand, and then the next cycle you'll start with the opposite hand, and then come back to standing. Let the arms come over your head. Pause there. Now imagine you have a ball above your head of chi, of energy. We're going to expand it with the inhalation, condense it, exhaling, and direct it down through the entire body, head, neck, upper chest and back, rest of the torso down to the pelvis, all the way down to the soles of your feet. Bring energy from the earth through your feet, up your legs, and anchor it in the pelvic region in the lower dantian. Pause here. Notice how the body feels. Consciously slow the breath down, softening the face, the jaw, the shoulders fall away from the ears. Inhale, hands come away and separate. Exhale, release them back to your thighs. Now we're going to explore something called eagle's wings, which is a movement that helps to create suppleness in the spine. We're going to explore an undulating action. And we're going to, on the inhale, bring the arms up slowly to shoulder height. Exhale, let your palms face your body. And you have a roundedness in your arms, like you're holding a big ball. I'm going to turn sideways. Next, inhale, hands come toward the body. It's like you're combing through your chest with your fingers, elbows, shoulders go toward, shoulder blades go toward one another, arms come back. Exhale, round and grab the big ball again, drop your chin. Inhale, knees go forward, hips as the hands come toward your chest. Open, exhale, round the spine forward, drop your chin, bend your knees. Feel the serpentine action you're creating in your spine with the movement in the joints of the lower body, supporting that spinal wave. Next time you bring your hands in toward your chest, pause, inhaling. Exhale, direct the energy down to the lower dantian. Pausing here. Bring your full awareness into your spine. Notice the quality of sensation there. Inhale, hands come away, separate, exhale, they release. Now we're going to explore some arm movement and circling arms. So the hands will start in front of the thighs. We're going to go to the right first. So we'll watch the hands as they move. Shift your weight to the right leg. Arms start to sweep out and they come up. Weight shifts to the other leg as they sweep down. Bend your knees as deeply as you can, squatting down. Shift the weight. If you want to take a wider stance for this, you can, particularly if you're bending lower. Reaching out as far to the side as you can. You can even lift a heel off the floor if it feels like it gives you more reach. Next time your arms come up, pause. And then we'll go the opposite way. Complete one more cycle coming up, arms above the head. Pausing once you're there. And again, we're going to expand the ball above the head, inhaling. Exhale, direct the energy ball down through the body. And this time we'll just anchor it in the lower dantian. Slowing the breath to slow the heart rate down. Softening any tension in the face, the jaw, the shoulders. Shoulder blades sink down the back. Carrying on, some more arm movement. This time we're going to be rotating the upper body, and the arm is going to move along with it, with the body. So we'll just start with the hands on the hips to begin. And we're going to shift first to the right. and then around and back. Now release your right arm and let it start to follow the direction that your head is moving. And you can go maybe so that your torso is more horizontal to the floor when you are hinging forward. And then pause when you're forward and go the opposite way. Finish the cycle you're on, bring the hand back above your head. And then with the exhalation, direct the energy down with that hand. Release both hands for a moment and notice how the one side of the body feels in relation to the other. You might sense a bit more internal action, flow, vibration. Now, place your right hand on your hip, and we're going to start to hinge to the left. Let the left arm start to circle around with the head. Next time you come forward, pause, and then go the opposite way. Finish your cycle and come back with the hand above the head. And then with your next exhalation, direct the energy down and relaxes. And then allow the other hand to soften down your thigh. And again, tune in and see if your body might feel like it's more harmonious from one side to the other, a bit more symmetry in terms of sensation. All right, now we're going to explore another balancing practice. This is squatting to touch the fish. And there are a few positions where you may choose to place your feet. The first will be lifting one leg and then placing it down. And so you could place it just where you lifted it from. You could lift it and place your feet very close together. You can lift the leg and be heel to toe. Or what I'll be demonstrating, you'll lift your leg, cross that knee in front of your standing leg knee, place both feet flat and squat down. In any case, we want to be squatting because this is called squatting to touch the fish. But so regardless of where you put your foot, you're going to bend your knees. But this position is the one that's going to challenge your balance the most. So you just want to make sure you pick a foot position where you'll feel stable and be able to do the rest of the movement, because we're going to be turning the upper body, and that's going to create even more likelihood of sway. All right, so we're in A stance, arms down alongside the body. We'll shift the weight to the right, lifting the left leg and arms, inhaling. We want to go as slowly as possible. And then exhale, palms down, bending your elbows. Start to place your foot wherever it's going to land. Keep pressing your palms down until your hands are palms facing one another. Now we're going to start to turn to the left. So your palms face the left. Look at the floor, keeping your hands in your vision, turning as far to the left as you can, looking at your hands. And then turn to the right. And then again, alternating, turning to each side. And then one more full cycle ending to the right. And then we'll come back to center and then push your right foot firmly into the floor and lift the left, arms rise. Exhale and step out, press your palms down, bend your knees. Now, the left leg bears the weight, the right leg comes up with the arms. Exhale, place your foot wherever it's going to land. Now we're going to turn to the right first. Inhaling. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, turn. Exhale to the other side. One more full cycle. Coming back to center. So now the left leg bears the weight. Inhale, rise up, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale and direct the energy down. Pause here a moment. Notice what you notice. Now we're going to take a wider stance. This is even wider than our horse stance. And we'll be pivoting and moving into a lunge in this form. This is scooping the sea and looking at the sky. So just to demonstrate, we'll be lifting, in this case, we'll start with the left foot. We'll lift the ball of the foot, pivot on the heel, turn so you're facing the wall that your foot, your toes, and your knee are, and then place the ball of your foot down and bend the knee. So that's the action of the lower body. We'll be doing some upper body movement, but eventually we're going to lift the ball, straighten the leg, pivot the feet back to parallel, and then we'll do the same thing to the other side. So we'll start feet parallel, fingertips face each other, palms up. Inhale, we're going to let the hands rise up to about solar plexus level, flip your palms down. Exhale, bend your knees. Squat down, gather energy into the palms of your hands. Inhale, rise up. So your forearms are parallel to the floor. Pivot. Now, place your left hand or wrist over your right, bend your knee, leaning forward. So we're looking into the sea. Inhale, straightening the front leg. Start to bend your back leg as you rise up. Open your arms and arch your back. Exhale, push off with your back leg. Start to bend your front. Wrist, same wrist crosses in front. And then we just keep repeating. Next time we bend forward, we'll pause. Inhale, open the hands, let them come up toward your shoulders, rise up here. Lift the ball of your foot and pivot. Feet parallel. Exhale, direct the energy down. Gather it again into the palms of your hands. We'll pivot to the other side. This time, the right hand is in front. Inhale, bend the back leg, the front leg straightens. Open the chest, looking up. Exhale, hinging forward. Next time you hinge forward, pause. Separate the hands, inhaling, rise up. Straighten the front leg, lift the ball of the foot. Palms down, exhale, direct the energy all the way down to your feet. Bring fresh new energy up through your feet, your legs, and anchor it in the lower dantian. We'll come back to horse stance here. And allow a moment for inner observation, closing the eyes, direct the focus within. You might do a quick body scan, notice any areas that feel like they're highlighted from the experience of the movement. Or you may notice some areas where you're still gripping or holding. Allow those areas to soften. We'll come back to horse stance if you weren't already in it. And here we're going to be stretching toward heaven. We're going to turn the feet out slightly. We'll be going into a squat here, and we want to make sure that the knees start to track over the feet, going wide rather than straight forward, which puts a lot of pressure on the inner knees. And we want to avoid that. We're going to be extending the arms above the head as far as you can. If it's more comfortable to have them parallel or sort of somewhere between horizontal and vertical, find a level that works. So we'll begin inhaling, start to bend your elbows and make fists. Exhale and squat down. Now we're going to inhale and extend. Exhale and bend. Squatting down as far as you can. Letting the buttocks shift back in space so your spine is more in a diagonal orientation rather than straight up and down. Of course, at any point, if you need to pause, do so. Let's finish one more cycle. Use the power of your lower body, pushing into the earth to rise. And then exhale, just slowly bring that energy down again to the dantian, the lower dantian. Tune into the breath. Consciously slow it down. Now we're going to explore a practice called drawing in the nets. And we're going to start with the left palm facing away from the body. We're going to raise the arm up, inhaling, and bend the elbow. And then the other arm starts to come up, and we flip the palm and we push that hand back behind us. So we're looking at the hand behind. And then that arm starts to swing down as we bend the front arm, and it comes toward the shoulder. And then we watch the hand as we push back, like we're saying stop to somebody behind us. And then that hand swings down as the front bends. So inhale through till your arm is forward. Exhale through until your other arm is forward. And then just keep repeating. You can bend the knees here a little bit. There's a bit of a rise and fall of the knee. Moving energy from the front of the body through the body to the back into so we're moving energy through our energetic field, through the body itself, and then out into the energetic field on the opposite side of the body. So the next time your front arm bends, keep it toward your body, let your shoulder at your shoulder, and then bring the other hand into the shoulder, pausing there. And then with your next exhalation, direct the energy down to the lower dantian. Tuning into breath. Ride the wave of the inhalation and the exhalation. Now, we'll explore turning to gaze at the moon. And so this is a spinal twisting action, a raising of one arm toward the wall behind. We'll start turning first to the right. And we'll be lifting the left heel as we do so. And the right arm, we have palm up, left arm, palm down with that arm bent. And you're looking up past your extended fingers toward the moon behind you. And then the hands start to swing down, come past your right thigh in front of you. Now your left arm, palm up, right arm, palm down, and then keep alternating. Sweeping the energy through the body, from top to bottom, from left to right, from bottom to top, from right to left. And we'll complete the cycle we're on. And come back to center. Arms down alongside the body. Inhale, arms come up. Gather the ball of energy above your head. And as you exhale, direct it down through the body and anchor it in the lower dantian. Now we'll finish the practice today with one of my faves, Shi Hu. So Leslie appreciates this one too. So we're going to be, Shi means inhalation, Hu means exhalation. So it's Shi, which means there's two short inhalations through the nose, and then a long exhalation through the mouth. And if you listen, it's kind of onomatopoetic. If you inhale, it kind of creates that Shi sound, and as you exhale, that's the Hu. So there are also some arm movements with this practice. So I'll just demo them at the moment. On the first inhale, the hands are going to go up to the left. Next inhale, they cross over to the right. And then the exhalation, they swing down to the left. Then we come up to the right, inhaling, to the left, inhale, exhale, down to the right. And we just keep alternating. So we'll pause for a moment, come back. So I'll start at the same time with breath and movement in sync. So on your next inhalation, start the hands up to your left. Let your arms be loose, bending in the elbows, loose in the wrist, free in the shoulder. You could even walk around the room if that feels good, or turn in a circle. Weight shifts into the leg where your arms are swinging down toward. Now in a moment, we're going to pause. And when we do, we want to let the arms swing back to stillness by themselves without consciously stopping them. So keep the action going, a couple more cycles. This will be the last full cycle, ending to the right. And then let your arms swing down and then just let them keep swinging. Maybe it turns your torso, let them be heavy, pendulum swinging in space. And go with the flow, just allow your body to move you, allow the chi within the body to move it and go with it, go with the flow. Ride the wave until eventually the body comes to rest. And notice what you notice. Sense the internal vibration. And we'll finish today with a bow. On the inhale, arms come up, you'll take hold of your left thumb, wrap the fingers of that hand over the right knuckles. Honoring the heavens, we draw down the yang into the three energy centers, upper, middle, lower dantian. Hinging forward, honoring the earth, bringing yin up to harmonize, balance the three energy centers. And then drawing the energy again down all the way to the lower dantian, anchoring it there.